We're back with the South 40 Motorsports Classic Auto Racing Series, and action already underway in heat race number 1. And it looks like we've already got a caution flag coming out here. Looks like a car has slid off the racetrack down in the bottom end of turn 2 and off into the infield. We'll check to see who that is. It looks like it's the 33 car of E.T. McGee out of DeLand. E.T.'s spinning out, sliding down into the grassy infield here at Orlando Speedway. Dune buggy moving up behind him. Well, it looks like E.T. is going to try to drive off under his own power. And a little smoke out of that engine. That doesn't look good. That was blue smoke. He may have an engine problem with that 33 car that caused that spin, and they're going to push that car off into the safety of the middle part of the infield, down where they run the school bus figure 8 races here. And heat race number 1 will be slowed just a moment here while they push that car out of the way. With McGee's car safely out of the way, we're getting ready to get things back underway in heat race number 1. The leader is George Hall Jr. in the bright red sedan, the number 32 out of St. Petersburg. George will take the green flag and we'll get back underway. George Hall Jr. only has one race win to his credit. It was last year right here at Orlando Speed World in a heat race, and right now George is trying to take his second career win on the same racetrack, and well, that car does look strong tonight. Frank Conrad runs in the second spot in what we call the Teal Tornado. The number 11 car out of Fort Pierce. Bright teal paint job on that particular sedan. And right behind him is Eddie Thornton driving car number 4. Eddie out of Orlando is the only driver in the Classic Auto Racing Series this year with 2 cars at his disposal. He just purchased this car recently, and he plans on running it at several tracks and running his other car at a few of the other different tracks where it requires a little different setup. Tonight, that car being driven, and in this heat race a little further back in the field, by the defending Classic Auto Racing Series champion from the year 2000, and that's Rodney Erie. Rodney driving car 4X. In fact, he runs in the 4 spot right now with Jim Raymond in the 5 machine out of Claremont right behind him. They're fighting it out for the 4 spot. They come by once again. George Hall Jr. continues to lead this race and try to get his second career win. Jim Raymond down to the inside of Erie coming out of turn 2, and Jim's going to make the pass and go into the 4th position. So the white flag getting ready to come out. George Hall Jr. with a several car length advantage over Frank Conrad. Jim Raymond has made his way now up into the 4th position, dropping Rodney Erie back to 5th. Eddie Thornton taking one last look to the outside of Frank Conrad's machine. Doesn't look like he'll be able to make the pass. Checkered flag is getting set to come out, and George Hall Jr. is going to pick up the win in heat race number 1. Frank Conrad will get second. Eddie Thornton gets the 3rd spot in the 4 car. Jim Raymond finishes 4th in the 5, and 5th to the 4X of Rodney Erie. All right, let's get right to action in heat race number 2. Dan Hammerbeck on the pole and Ed Yates on the outside, and Dan Hammerbeck makes a quick jump to the lead here with the 2 car. Ed Yates right behind him in the 74 machine. Ed painting that car up this year in the colors of the University of Central Florida, black and gold. Right behind them is the veteran Danny Shearer driving car number 77 out of Melbourne, and those 3 have really taken off to a big advantage here over the rest of the field. Looks like Simon Spagnolo out of Vero Beach is running in the 4th spot just in front of the number 24 car of Michael Albert out of Winter Springs. And good to see that bright blue number 50 car there toward the back of the field right now. That's Doug Katnack out of Lutz, Florida. Doug's making his first start in 3 years here in the Classic Auto Racing Series. It's good to see him back once again. Right now, Dan Hammerbeck in that bright yellow number 2 has the lead. Ed Yates takes a look down to the inside. Just can't find the racing room at the moment. Shearer is sitting right in behind him. He's just waiting to make a move there, but right at the present time just has to look out that windshield and watch what the guys in front of him are doing. Dan Hammerbeck. Winless last year after taking an opening win in his rookie season in 1999. Had a lot of second-place finishes and a good run in the point standings last year. Dan looking very strong here in the 2-car, and as always, Ed Yates running good in the 74. Ed has finished second in the South 40 Motorsports Classic Auto Racing Series points over the last 2 seasons. Ed has, really been considered by most to be the odds-on favorite to take the point championship this year, and he won the opening season race up at Jacksonville. Jack's Raceway's on the oil dirt up there. Dan Hammerbeck right now looks to have things going his way in the 2-car. Opens it up a couple of car lengths over Yates as they work their way down the back straightaway. Danny Shearer still runs in the 2nd spot. Spagnuolo is 4th. And back there in the 5th position right now, it looks like it's Michael Albert. White flag is out on the field this time. Hammerbeck continues to set the pace. They'll work their way down the back straightaway one last time. Yates again takes a look down to the inside, but he just can't find the racing room. And the checkered flag is going to come out. Dan Hammerbeck will pick up the win in heat race 2. Yates gets 2nd. Shearer picks up the 3rd spot. Simon Spagnuolo's 4th, and rounding out the top 5 will be Michael Albert. We'll be back with more action from the South 40 Motorsports Classic Auto Racing Series after these words. The South 40 Classic Auto Racing Series at Orlando Speed World is sponsored by the law offices of Arthur W. Neergarth, Jr., a board-certified civil trial lawyer specializing in personal injury and wrongful death. Located in Melbourne at 2285 West O'Galley Boulevard, call 321-255-7747 in Brevard County or toll-free 877-255-7747.